Okay, this is a lesson on how to establish or find your neutral gray or gray point in a image. One of the things that you may find out is a lot of time your image, if it's not properly exposed, or that you get a false white balance, you may get a color hue or a color shift. If you look at this image and I click between the levels that have been corrected and one that hasn't been corrected, you can see a slight shift or a bluish tone that is into my image here. So first thing let's talk about establishing a gray point and what you need. First of all, did you do this under your adjustments and your levels or curves? So to establish this, first of all, we need to set our parameters. So let's check it, make sure that everything's set up. So go to your levels, double click the black point eyedrop. Under the color picker, make sure your 10, the 10 is the numbers that are in the red, green, and blue boxes. Click OK. Under the gray point eyedropper, make sure the numbers are 133 under red, green, and blue. Click OK. And under the white, check and make sure your numbers are 243 in each one of the red, green, and blue boxes. And OK. Click OK. And if you have to make changes, it's going to tell you that you need to save. So just click OK, and if it asks you to save, just say yes. That way you won't have to redo that again. Next, to start doing the gray point or neutral gray numbers, you're going to add a new layer, create a new layer, go to edit, fill the layer with 50% gray, and now you have a box filled with the gray. Go to your layers blending mode, click change that layer to difference. The image looks a little strange, but we'll change that in just a second. Next, you're going to then add a fill adjustment layer, and you want to add a threshold adjustment. So click that. Now we're ready. As you see, it turns it completely black. Slide the slider all the way to the left till it's white. Then slowly pull it back to the right until you see some of the pixels come back. And what you're looking for is some pixels in the gray. And some of those pixels, when they first show up, that is your gray point that you're looking for. But we need an area big enough to sample. So we're going to use right in this area here. You're going to click, take your eyedropper before you click OK, and put it on this area here. Hold down the shift on the keyboard and click the left mouse, and you get a gray point marker, or you get a marker from the eyedropper that's been put here. Click OK. The marker then goes away, of course, and now you can hit the zoom button and you'll see it show back up again right here. You see the marker here. We may want to move that marker just a little bit, and let's move it over to this gray area. Okay, you do that by holding the shift and then move the marker. All right, so now you're ready to now go back to your screen, remove the threshold layer, remove the gray layer. Now we're left with nothing but the background with the marker on the gray, and that should give us a nice gray point. All right, now we're ready to do a level, and we go to adjustments, and you pick levels, pick your black point eyedrop, find an area that's conducive to establish the black point. I would think maybe under the bridge here or in this shadow will be a nice black point. Let's pick the shadow in the rock. Next, pick your white point. You can do this any order you like, but pick an area that's also conducive to a white point. If you pick an area that's too dark, you're going to overshoot your numbers. I mean, that may look good to you on that screen, but if you had to print that, that would be quite too much contrast. So we're going to pick now, let's try maybe this white vehicle. There we go. That was nice. You could probably pick the white vehicle, maybe even the white cloud up there. Next, we want to now do the gray point marker here and put the eyedropper right on top of that marker and click. It's a little bit too much, so maybe right around the edge. There you go. Right there. Keep doing it until you hit a nice point of gray. That looks pretty good. And then I say okay. Now we can take a look at this image on our history. If I go back to the original, I can then click back to my change, and you can see there's a nice change and establishing a very nice imagery that's ready to now be printed and properly to the right levels in the RGB mode.